Okay, so what is cybercrimes? Cybercrimes are criminal offenses committed via the internet or otherwise aided by various forms of computer technology, such as using online social networks to bully others, or sending sexual, explicit digital photos with a smartphone. Some key ideas are committing via the internet, aided by various forms of technology, social media, is what I just mentioned. So 4 facts about cybercrimes that we should not ignore. 1, cybercrimes are on the rise and insider threats are no exception. 2, insider threats are very costly. 3, insider threats are hard to detect and mitigate. And 4, privileges insiders are the most dangerous. All right, so we're going to start with cybercrimes on the rise. Insider threats are no exception. First of all, as companies get bigger, so does the potential gains which attract predators. The wide variety of tools and knowledge necessity for successful computer hacking or a data breach, all the necessity manual and technical documentation can be found for free on the internet, and not to mention that some sophisticated malware is also widely and freely available for anyone to utilize. Employees are a huge liability for any company, to the fact that employees are insiders who already have easier access to the company, whether they maliciously or not. Yet not everyone is taking the necessary steps to deal with it. Video here.
We hear about computers getting hacked at big companies almost every week, but with tighter security measures, cyber criminals are now going after small businesses who are easier targets. Now, Pierce County is teaming up with the city of Lakewood to help small business owners protect themselves from becoming the next victim. Most small businesses have security systems on their buildings to keep intruders out. But an even bigger and more costly threat may be lurking in their computers, just waiting to spring an attack.
If they'll get it, they can actually sit there for days, weeks, and months, gather all your information, and then take it from you by going into your bank and transferring all your assets and so forth, or taking all your information from your customers, that kind of thing.
He says one recent cyber attack cost a local business big bucks.
They lost $45,000 in a matter of 10 minutes from their bank accounts.
Okay, so that kind of shows you, and gives you a little bit of idea how dangerous these attackers are. They're not just going after big businesses now, they're actually going after smaller businesses due to the fact that they believe that they are more of a easier target. So now we're going to go into insider threats are very costly. Loss of consumers. Consumers are becoming better informed about cybersecurity and more cautious about their own privacy. And with this competitive market, if a consumer feels that their security measures are not up to par and that their personal information is in jeopardy, they will take their business elsewhere. And the same could be said for your business partners. Damage of company reputation and loss of business are also major contributing factors for high remediation costs. Data breaches. Insider attacks are closely related to data breaches, and not only that, but the misuse of sensitive information regarding customers, employees, and or even information regarding a business's finances or products, and etc. Though insider attacks are not so frequent, the cost of them are a good reason to take these threats and protection from these threats very serious. Now we're going to go into insider threats are hard to detect and mitigate. So what makes insider threats so dangerous? The cost of what insider threats can cause for you or your business are not the most dangerous factors about them. It is the fact that they are very hard to detect and take some time to deal with that make them so dangerous. Some companies can even go on and carry on business without even being aware that they have been breached. Even when the breach is eventually noticed, it can be difficult to establish what exact data was taken and for what purpose. Why is it hard to detect insider attacks? The main reason is that insiders, being employees, have all access to sensitive data, and not only that, but depending on their position in the company, they're required to work with it. For this reason, it makes it very hard to distinguish data that has been misused from actual legitimate work by the employee. So with the amount of technical knowledge combined with the privileges of the employee, they can easily cover their tracks, alter or delete evidence, and disable or bypass monetary services. Now we're going to go into privileges. Insiders are the most dangerous. So easier to cover their tracks, elevated level of privileges. These are all reasons that make privileged insiders the most dangerous. Freedom to conduct various attacks, including critical systems or changing critical system settings, using logic bombs, which are a set of codes that are initially inserted into a software system that will set off a malicious function when a specific condition are met. So for example, let's say an employee within the company is hacking and taking files and critical information involving your business and or customers. They would place this code into the system so that if they ever got caught or terminated from the company, they would activate this code, which would then delete any files, records, or any personal information that would either link them to the crime or worse, any critical company files. Lastly, these insiders will use something called a backdoor, which again, if you're not familiar with, are used in order to access more sensitive pieces of data from their home. So it's a way to access unauthorized company files from the comfort of their own house. Trust. What I mean by this, the worst part about these attacks is that it's not really what they can do that makes them so bad, it's rather the fact that they are trusted. And most companies, those with high levels of privileges are the ones that are trusted the most. They usually have little to no restrictions put on their actions and are usually not monitored. This brings me back to why they have an easier time to cover their tracks, because no one expects them to do this, allowing them to easily misuse data without any suspicion and little chance of being detected. What reason covered? So lastly, cybercrimes are a serious matter. These are things that can destroy a company, either financially or their reputation. These crimes can be very difficult to track and locate where it started, and by the time the company does, it can be too late at that point. The damage has already been done. As a business owner, it's their jobs to keep their business and the customers of that business safe and protected.